Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says the president shouldn't be impeached because he's impulsive. What do you think of that?
No, I mean, of course, no. She knows it. I know it. We all know it. That's not going anywhere. And, you know, he's been impeached twice, and now he's still our president as well now, too. So it's not going anywhere, and I don't think that's helpful. And I think if you throw that term around, that actually diminishes what the severity of what impeachment is really reserved for.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our citizens. We will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Oh boy, what's going on, family? I hope everybody that is tuned in right now is blessed, well, and healthy, that y'all are having a great start to the week, man. You know, we just trying to make it to Friday, just trying to get to the weekend, man. Them Patriots been working hard, you know, blood, sweat, and tears in this bad boy, man. It's been a crazy last couple of hours. We've seen a lot of things take place and unfold. We've seen people's true colors, you know, and we still stand behind the greatest. This man's going to go down as one of the greatest president of all time, man. We're going to stand behind President Trump. Got doggone right. Yes, indeed, man. But we are praying for peace through strength, praying for America, praying for President Trump, you know. But he does it again. Mr. Hoodie, Senator Hoodie, Senator Tennis Shoes, Senator Gym Shorts. He's back. Says the Democrats failed to silence John Fetterman. I told you, I'm still waiting on another hit piece about his health, or he's unfit, he's this, he's that. I am ready. I am ready, family. I am. I'm not lying to you. But you know, seeing these people talking about impeachment, and it just got denied. It was like 344 to 70. It was a miserable impeachment. That just took place. Can I pull it up? Here, I'll pull it up. Al Green, the pimp caveman, waving around his pimp cane. Look how bad this failed. I wonder why. Trump has broken the Democrat Party. And then, speaking of AOC, because we got to pull AOC up, and Trump just ended the careers of AOC, Jasmine Crockett, and Ilhan Omar. And she ought to, you know, they should have been walked these people out. She ought to be deported. They ought to revoke her citizenship and send her back to that foreign agent. They ought to rough that lady up, but be careful. Her eyelashes might fall out. You know, she's saying, why didn't you holler? Why didn't I get a notice before you did this? Before you did what you did? These people here, man. Did Obama? Did Barry call anybody? That's what I want. Did Barry call somebody? And AOC, they ought to drop her back off at the bar. But Trump said, stupid AOC, one of the dumbest people in Congress, is now calling for my impeachment, despite the fact that the crooked and corrupt Democrats have already done that twice before. The reason for her ranting is all of her victories that the USA had under the Trump administration. The Democrats aren't used to winning, and she can't stand the concept of our country being successful again. When we examine her test scores, we will find out that she is not qualified for office, but nonetheless far more qualified than Miss Jasmine Crockett, who is seriously low IQ individual, or Ilhan Omar, who does nothing but complain about our country, yet the failed country that she comes from doesn't have a government. Woo! My president right here, say it as it is drenched in crime and poverty. So she comes from a country that doesn't have yet the failed country that she comes from doesn't have a government, is drenched in crime and poverty, and is rated one of the worst in the world, even if it's rated at all. How dare the mouse tell us how to run the United States of America? We are just not coming back from the radical left experiment with Sleepy Joe, Kamala, and the auto pen in charge. What a disaster it was. AOC should be forced to take the cognitive test that I completed at Walter Reed Medical Center as a part of my physical. As the doctor in charge said, President Trump aced it, meaning I got every answer right. Instead of her constant complaining, AOC should go back home to Queens, where I was also brought up, and straighten out her filthy, disgusting, crime-ridden streets in the district she represents, which she never goes to anymore. Woo! She better start worried about her own primary before she thinks about beating our great Palestine senator, crying Chuck Schumer, whose career is definitely on very thin ice. She and her Democrat friends have just hit the lowest poll numbers in congressional history. So go ahead and try impeaching me. Again, make my day. God, oh, that's my president. Say it as it is. Put his foot down. He dropped the F-bomb live on TV. Trump is sick of y'all, man. We are tired of y'all. We really are, man. I'm serious. We are sick of this, man. These warmongers, these psychopaths, these activist judges, these Democrats, liberals, y'all have destroyed the country, you know, and we finally are coming back and recovering. Common sense is back. The people spoke loud and clear. And the first thing y'all scream is impeachment. And look, it just failed miserably. Disgrace, man. But we got Brother Hoodie. He done dropped a big one on live on TV. We got to check this one out. You know, for people calling for his party calling for impeachment, which we just showed just failed miserably, as we knew it would.
Well, Bill, I think that as we absorb all of this history and remember it, this is some of the graphics that you want to keep in mind. I know you take a lot of long flights, Bill Malhusian. This one was not a comparison. So at 12:01 a.m., these B-2s left Missouri from Whiteman Air Force Base, and they had to fly overnight. They had to get refueled a couple of times along the way. That's an amazing thing to see, and such a feat of engineering and skill with the pilots. Dangerous, but obviously they did it so well. They entered into the Iranian airspace, and they had this window from 6:40 to 7 p.m., time on target, and that is when it happened. Then they exited Iran, and they turned around and come back. At the same time, after the B-2s were dropping their bombs, you also had the Tomahawk missiles that were fired that went into Estefan, which we talked about earlier in the show. Here's some well, basically satellite technology that says that's the Fordo site there, right? And then this is it after. And so analysis is happening right now to find out the extent of the damage. We're going to learn a lot more about that. In the meantime, Democratic Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, he is here to talk to us about all sorts of things. And one of the things I wanted to ask you about is many people on the congressional side of things, especially the Democrats, are upset that President Trump didn't seek congressional authority beforehand. They weren't always upset. Previous presidents have done.
Just imagine if he did, though. Just imagine. I'm just saying.
Similar things and targeted strikes like President Obama. How do you see that debate playing out over the next week?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, I'm sure. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people in my party that are going to disagree with the strike in Iran, and I actually support that. I've been always calling for that thing. I think it was entirely appropriate. And again, there might be votes on that. So for me, that's not a war. That was a very limited military exercise, and it struck that, and then that's where we're at. So really, it really wasn't about unconstitutional or it's anything like that.
Y'all be ready for another hit piece. Be ready. Be ready for another anonymous, hit piece on Senator Hoodie. Wait, does he got a hoodie on today? He might have a. Is that a collared shirt? What? Senator Hoodie, is that a collared? Does this brother got on a collared shirt? Let me find out. No, wait a minute, Billy Willie Chili. I'm proud of you, sir. That's how you know he really approved what President Trump did. He didn't came on here with a collared shirt, y'all. That's how you know Senator Fetterman approved of President Trump of what he. Oh man, he took the hoodie off on today's show, on today's cat. Oh man, he done came live on TV without the hoodie. Yeah.
It's like a very, very limited military engagement, and then it took them out, damaged them severely.
Yes, and so we're still getting that analysis. And, sir, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she has called for the impeachment of the president, saying that it's a disastrous decision to bomb Iran without authorization, a grave violation of the Constitution and congressional war powers. He has impulsively risked launching a war that may ensnare us for generations. It is absolutely and clearly grounds for impeachment. Two things really struck out at me from that, which is the impulsively risked launching a war, which I don't think there was, looking at all of the reporting, there's nothing impulsive about it. We've been having this discussion for many, many years, but also that it could ensnare us for generations. At this point, do you see that actually happening after the Israelis had done what they did before President Trump took this decisive action?
I'm sorry.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think
We might have some technical difficulties. Let me just ask you what you think about the possibility. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says the president shouldn't be impeached because he's impulsive. What do you think of that?
No, I mean, of course, no. She knows it. I know it. We all know it. That's not going anywhere. And, you know, he's been impeached twice, and now he's still our president as well now, too. So it's not going anywhere, and I don't think that's helpful. And I think if you throw that term around, that actually diminishes what the severity of what impeachment is really reserved for.
A Fox News poll that we had last week said that 78% of people are very concerned about Iran getting a nuclear weapon. Obviously, that would include many Democrats as well. Do you think there are people in your party that are willing to make a pivot here and say, good job?
This was recorded, y'all, right before the ceasefire. Right, this took place right before the ceasefire yesterday.
Military. Mr. President, you did the right thing. If we're going to do anything more, come to us, to Congress. Or do you think that the knee-jerk reaction will prevail?
Absolutely. I mean, just because sometimes it's a decision that President Trump did, it's like maybe like reflexively you have to be opposed that. For me, again, I've been always calling to destroy these nuclear facilities. Now, let's talk about the context in the middle of all that now, too. Now, our party has been often wrong, and they were pushing for a ceasefire last year, and now Israel pushed through that and has broken Hamas and Hezbollah as well now, too. And now here it is right now. Israel has air supremacy over Iraq right now. And now here's where where Iran is right now. Their capabilities are severely limited. And now that was an entirely appropriate to finally take out those nuclear facilities.
Senator, my last question to you is about the hostages that are still being held by Hamas in those tunnels in Gaza. And we have an opportunity now possibly to have some leverage, maybe, to try to get them out. You have been stalwart in keeping focus on the hostages. Any message for them or to the president today on what you hope to see happen?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've kept the hostages up in my office ever since they've been taken there as well. I've had the honor of meeting with countless families and actual hostages as well, too, that have been held underground for over 500 days. The world seems to have forgot them, but I certainly haven't, and a lot of people in Israel have and will, too. Let's bring them home, and let's hold Hamas accountable. And now let's never forget, too, send them home and disarm, and all of the tragedy in Gaza would be over. Hold them accountable. Why won't the media and more people hold Hamas accountable for what they've done? And as well as Iran as well, too. They're the ones that created those proxies. And that's also part of why it was entirely appropriate to take out their nuclear facilities. And that's why I'm going to unapologetically stand with Israel. I don't poll test that. For me, it's like I'm going to stand on what I know is the right thing and what's the truth.
Thank you for coming on America's Newsroom. We appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Took the hoodie off, put a collared shirt on. All right, all right, Fetterman. All right, brother. Yeah. Let me know what y'all think, man. I love y'all, and I'll catch y'all on the next one, family.